So great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
Maybe you can start by just introducing it a bit for our viewers. What's this film all about and why should they go and see it?
Okay. Well, it's a hard movie to describe somehow because it's a very strange movie. It's a story about a crew of people who are very violent and there is this woman, Jessica, who try to make them being somehow less violent because she thinks that they became like this because they didn't have experienced love in their life. So she tried to give them a form of family and love to somehow heal them sickness. I don't know how can you say this. Yes.
And what made you want to play this part? What attracted you to this character?
I like it a lot, the idea that she's a female leader of a crew of men, but at the same time she's not at all sexualized, if we can say this, which I found it very interesting because women are often sexualized or take it as an object, even more if they are like the, how you say, heroine, the hero of a story. And yeah.
And what was it like working with Caroline and Jonathan? I know traditionally, well, up until now they've done a lot of short films. This is their first big feature. What were they like to work with as directors?
It was great, and they're a very good couple to work with because they have obviously the same vision, and it was super interesting. Like they really had a clear idea of what they wanted. So also the way that we play. It's kind of like a robotic, so it seems that there is almost no acting somehow because we speak in a very flat way, if we can say that, and we move in a very kind of robotic way, and they have. It's crazy. They put together all these boys that they come from such a different. How can I say this? Different, completely different life, like between them even. But they found a way to match all these people together, and we really all get along very well.
I was going to ask about that actually, because obviously in the story it's kind of unique. You've got a female leader of men, but even on a film set that's quite unusual. So what was your relationship with the other actors, and did you feel quite empowered by the situation?
I mean, I had a lot of fun. Let's say, as a girl, to be in the middle of so many men, I may have became a little bit like a man. Me too. It was interesting, and I mean, yeah, what can I say? I don't know. It's. I felt they were all very respectful to me, and I think they took me in real life more as a sister than as a figure of mother. I don't know how to say. So it was very camarade situation.
And it's quite an unusual film in that it sort of sits between genres. It's sort of this dystopian, futuristic style to it, but then there's something very kind of real and everyday that's kind of mashed together. So how did you see this world that you were entering into and where it sits as a genre film?
I see it almost as a fairy tale, you know, and I think they were very inspired by video games, and I'm not really into video games. I don't know. I don't even know how to play a snake on my phone. So, yeah, I see it almost as a fairy tale.
And even just getting into like the costume and the dress, like that was that like a fun aspect of it as well, to kind of enter into this whole other world.
Yes, yes, of course it is. I mean, yeah, you really can detached from the reality somehow.
Did you have to do a lot of preparation for the role? I mean, in terms
We did it a little bit, yes. We had to do Sistema, which is like a Russian combat. Yes, how you say combat? Like fight, Russian fight
like martial
that they
arts.
use in the army, and then it was more about the way that we had to talk. Really, yes. We didn't have to be too emotional somehow.
Because actually, there's not so much dialogue. There's a little
Yes.
help from some narration.
Yes.
So much has to happen through your actions, through your acting, as opposed to the words. Was that kind of challenging too?
I mean, I think that the less we were doing, the more they were happy somehow, because it's not a movie about acting. It's not the main stuff. Yeah, and yeah.
And talking about the fact that it is this female leader of this pack of guys, I feel something that they play with is kind of our traditional concepts of masculinity and femininity, and she helps them kind of reconnect with allowing themselves to be vulnerable, show emotion. And do you think there's something to say to audiences about that maybe we need to do away with some of these kind of more old-fashioned ideas of what it makes to be a man, to be masculine, and actually they need to be more in touch with their feelings and show affection?
Yes, I think they wanted to show the two sides of not only man but also human being, like that there is a part that can be very strong and the other side that is very touching and sweet and emotional, that it's important to have both somehow.
And what do you hope the impact of the film will be? Do you think this is something that everyone's going to, people are going to be shocked by, they're going to be absorbed by? How do you want people to feel when they come out the cinema?
I think we will have all kind of reaction, It's such a particular movie, but what I like it is that it moves an important question that is like somehow it's talking about love, this movie, because it's really about like how can you heal people who became like that, and I'm sorry.
And somehow, even though it's set in kind of, a fictional future, maybe it does have something to say about our society, that we should allow people to just be kind of pushed out on the margins and forgotten about, but actually we should nurture people and look after them, look after everyone in our society. Do you think that's kind of what the film suggests?
Yes.
And how does it feel to have the film here in Berlin, at the film festival here?
It's fun. It's also nice to see the director again and the other actors, and I don't know, I'm curious about the reaction of the people, but at the same time it's not really my business anymore. I believe in this movie. I think it's a great movie. If the directors are happy, I'm happy, and the movie is gonna exist no matter what. So, yes.
And how do you think that French cinema is different from other kinds of cinema? Do you think there's something particular about films?
Maybe they have more freedom, or they take more freedom. Yeah.
There's a kind of, often I feel like I watch French films and there's like a rawness and authenticity that when you compare it to Hollywood films where there's always this gloss, this sheen.
They
So
risk
something-
more somehow. They take a risk, and which is great. I think we need this kind of stuff. Yes.
And we need more female heroines, female leaders. Do you think this is a good time now for female actors?
Yes.
It just feels like so much going on and it's kind of blown open what you can do and what you can't. What do you think you're going to do next?
I'm working in a new movie, and it will be in Italian. And it's a movie about how do you say this in English? Handicap, like physical and mental handicaps. And yes, this is what I'm gonna do next.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the film. Thank you.